Listen closely, because your presence here is no accident. There is a profound secret about love that society hides, that movies romanticize, and that no one has ever told you. This isn't about luck. It's not a coincidence. It is a universal law as real as gravity. Love is magnetism, a powerful, invisible force that isn't created from the outside in, but is unleashed from the deep, sacred space within you. The great master of the human soul, Carl Jung, gave us the master key to this entire mystery. He said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Do you understand the sheer power of those words? It means your unconscious mind, your unhealed wounds, your hidden beliefs, is silently choosing your partners, condemning you to repeat the same cycles of disappointment. But here is the beautiful, life-altering truth. When a woman finally reconnects with her authentic self, when she embraces her worth with unshakable firmness, something magical doesn't just happen. The entire universe realigns for her. The right man, the one who has been waiting, the one who can honor the queen that she is magnetically pulled into her life in ways she never thought possible. Now, before we dive deep into the 5 keys that will unlock this power within you, I need to ask you something important. A huge number of you who find healing and guidance in these videos are not yet subscribed to the channel. If you are ready to stop leaving your love life to chance and start creating your destiny, take 1 second to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss the wisdom that could change everything for you. And if this message is already resonating deep in your soul, please press the like button to help this knowledge reach others who are suffering in silence. Finally, I want to see just how far this powerful energy can travel. Let me know in the comments what city or country you're watching from so we can see how far Carl Jung's teachings are spreading to heal hearts across the globe. Now, prepare to transform, because the man of your dreams isn't going to find you by chance. He will find you by the magnetic force you are about to unleash. I'm not talking about seduction techniques or strategies to conquer. I'm talking about something much deeper and more powerful. I'm talking about becoming the woman who naturally attracts the love you deserve. I'm talking about the 5 psychological keys that, when you truly integrate them into your life, completely transform your energy field and your ability to receive love. Over the next few minutes, we are going to enter sacred territory. We are going to explore not only what has been holding you back, but what can set you free. We are going to discover why true love doesn't arrive when you desperately chase it, but when you become someone worth chasing. And as you listen to this, I want you to ask yourself an honest question, a question you may have never asked yourself. Are you truly prepared for the love you say you want? Or are there parts of you that still need to heal, to grow, to flourish before that love can find you? Because if there's one thing I've learned accompanying women in their process of self-discovery, it's that love arrives just when we are ready to receive it. Not a second before, not a second after, always at the perfect moment. The first key that can transform your love life is perhaps the most challenging of all. Recognizing your authentic worth, not the value others assign to you, not the value you feel when someone validates you, but that intrinsic value that exists regardless of external circumstances. Jung spoke of the process of individuation, that journey towards becoming who you really are, not who others expect you to be. And in love, this becomes crucial because when you don't know your own worth, you unconsciously allow others to treat you as less than you deserve. You settle for crumbs when you have the right to a banquet. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you justified behaviors that deep down you knew were not right? How many times have you thought, well, at least he loves me in his own way, or it's better than being alone? Those are the signs of a woman who has not fully recognized her worth. The recognition of authentic worth is not arrogance. It is not believing you are superior to others. It is a quiet certainty, that inner peace that says, I know who I am. I know what I offer the world, and I will not allow anyone to treat me as if I were less than what I am. When a woman truly embraces her worth, something extraordinary happens. She stops seeking constant confirmation. She stops modifying her personality to fit what she thinks others want. She stops apologizing for taking up space in this world. And that energy, that authentic presence is magnetic in a way that no seduction technique can replicate. But recognizing your worth is not just a mental exercise. It is deep work that requires you to look honestly at your history, your wounds, the messages you received about yourself while growing up. Maybe they told you that you were too much of something, too sensitive, too intense, too ambitious. Or maybe they told you that you were too little of something else. Not pretty enough, not smart enough, not successful enough. All those messages got engraved in your unconscious, directing your love choices without you realizing it. That's why you attract men who confirm those limiting beliefs about yourself. It's not that you have bad luck in love. It's that you are unconsciously attracting what you believe you deserve. Recognizing your authentic worth means cleaning out those beliefs. It means unlearning the messages that taught you to be small and remembering the magnificence you have always carried within. It means understanding that your sensitivity is a gift, not a flaw. That your intensity is power, not a problem. That your big heart is your greatest strength, not your greatest weakness. When a woman truly recognizes her worth, she no longer accepts half-hearted love. She no longer settles for relationships that drain her instead of nurturing her. She becomes selective, but not out of contempt for others, but out of a deep love for herself. The second key that will determine if true love can find you is one that many women avoid because it hurts. Healing the emotional wounds you carry from childhood, from past relationships, from all those experiences that taught you that love hurts more than it heals. Carl Jung said something profoundly wise. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Unhealed wounds become unconscious filters through which we interpret everything that happens to us in love. If you were abandoned, you will unconsciously attract men who confirm that pattern. If you were betrayed, your heart will close before anyone can get close, enough to hurt you again. But here is the truth that can set you free. Your wounds are not your identity. They are experiences you lived, not the totality of who you are. And when you have the courage to look at them head on, to feel that pain you've been avoiding, something magical happens. The wounds transform into wisdom, the pain into compassion, the fragility into authentic strength. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. Healing means integrating. It means understanding that the little girl who felt rejected, the teenager who felt invisible, the young woman who felt betrayed, they are all part of your story, but they do not define your future. You can honor their pain without allowing it to direct your love decisions forever. Many women tell me, but I've already tried to heal. I've been to therapy, I've read books, I've done everything. And I tell them, healing is not a destination you arrive at. It's a process you remain in. Each level of personal growth reveals new layers that need love and attention. It's not a failure on your part. It's the very nature of growth. Unhealed emotional wounds are like computer programs running in the background, consuming your vital energy without you realizing it. They make you react instead of respond. They make you interpret neutrality as rejection, distance as abandonment, difference as incompatibility. They keep you in a state of emotional hypervigilance that exhausts both you and anyone who tries to get close. But when you decide to face those wounds with compassion, when you embrace them instead of denying them, when you honor them instead of being ashamed of them, your energy field changes completely. You become magnetic to a different kind of love, a more mature, more conscious love, more capable of holding both your light and your shadow. Emotional healing requires time, patience, and often professional help, but it is the greatest gift you can give yourself. Because a healed woman does not look for a man to complete her. She looks for a man to complement her. She doesn't look for someone to fill her voids. She looks for someone who celebrates her wholeness. The third key that can revolutionize your love life is one that many women are afraid to apply because they have been taught that setting boundaries makes them difficult or demanding. Establishing sacred boundaries. But let me share a truth with you that will change your perspective forever. Boundaries do not push true love away. They protect it. Carl Jung taught us that individuation, the process of becoming who you really are, requires you to clearly define where you end and the other person begins. In love, This translates into knowing exactly what you are willing to accept and what you are not, without exceptions, without negotiations, without excuses. Sacred boundaries are not walls you build to keep yourself isolated. They are the conscious doors you decide to open only for those people who honor and respect who you are. They are the way you tell the universe, "This is the standard of love I deserve, and I will not settle for less." Many women confess to me that they are afraid to set boundaries because they fear being left alone. But the irony is that the lack of boundaries is exactly what keeps them in relationships that make them feel profoundly lonely. Because being with someone who doesn't respect you, who doesn't value your needs, who doesn't honor your boundaries, is a more painful form of loneliness than being physically alone. Establishing sacred boundaries means you no longer over-explain why you need what you need. You no longer apologize for having standards. You no longer negotiate your fundamental values to keep someone in your life. You simply communicate with clarity and love what is acceptable to you and what is not. And here, I want you to ask yourself a deep question, a question that can change everything. What are those behaviors that you have been tolerating in your relationships that in the bottom of your heart, are not right? What patterns have you been accepting because you're afraid of being alone, or because you think all men are like that? Sacred boundaries include things like not accepting disrespectful communication, not tolerating emotional inconsistency, not allowing someone to treat you like an option when you are treating them like a priority. They include demanding honesty, reciprocity, respect, and genuine effort in the relationship. When you establish sacred boundaries, it may feel uncomfortable at first. Some people may walk away, and that can hurt. But those are exactly the people who needed to walk away, because they were in your life, not because they truly valued you, but because they could get what they wanted from you without giving in return what you needed. Sacred boundaries act as a natural filter. They repel those who are not aligned with your well-being and attract those who are. A man who truly values you will not feel threatened by your boundaries. He will respect them. In fact, he will admire them because he understands that a woman who respects herself is a woman who knows how to create healthy and lasting relationships. The fourth key that can transform your amorous magnetism is one that modern society has taught us to suppress: cultivating your authentic feminine energy. I'm not talking about stereotypes or traditional roles, but about that deep and powerful essence that exists within you, waiting to be honored and expressed. Jung spoke of the anima and the animus, those feminine and masculine forces that we all carry within us. In today's world, many women have developed their masculine side so much, their ability to achieve, compete, and control, that they have disconnected from their feminine power, their ability to receive, flow, intuit, and create from a space of conscious receptivity. Authentic feminine energy is not weakness. It is the most powerful force in the universe. It is the one that creates life, the one that nurtures, the one that heals, the one that transforms. It is that capacity to be present in your body, to connect with your emotions, to trust your intuition, to move with grace through the natural cycles of life. When a woman consciously cultivates her feminine energy, she becomes magnetic in a way that no external technique can replicate. There is something in her presence that invites, that heals, that inspires. Men are naturally drawn to that energy because it represents something they cannot create for themselves, something that complements and balances their masculine energy. Cultivating your feminine energy means learning to receive without guilt. It means allowing yourself to be vulnerable without feeling weak. It means honoring your emotional cycles instead of fighting against them. It means connecting with your body, with your sensuality, with that ancestral wisdom that lives in your cells and that knows things your rational mind can never understand. Many women have lost touch with this energy because the world taught them that to be successful, they had to behave like men, that to be respected, they had to suppress their sensitivity, that to be taken seriously, they had to harden their hearts. But this has disconnected them from their most authentic power. Feminine energy is not passivity, it is active receptivity. It is not submission, it is the confidence of knowing that you can surrender to the flow of life without losing your power. It is the wisdom of understanding that you don't need to control everything to be safe, that you can trust your intuition to guide you towards what is right for you. When you cultivate your feminine energy, you stop chasing love and allow love to chase you. You stop trying to convince someone to value you and simply radiate a value that is impossible to ignore. You become like a flower that doesn't have to chase bees. It simply blooms and the bees come naturally. This energy is cultivated through simple but profound practices. Spending time in nature, honoring your menstrual cycle, moving in ways that connect you with your body, creating spaces of beauty in your life, allowing yourself to feel deeply without judging those emotions. The fifth and final key that will determine if true love can find you is perhaps the most liberating of all: embracing your completeness. This means understanding from the deepest part of your being that you are already complete, just as you are, that you don't need a man to complete you, and that true love doesn't come to fill you, it comes to celebrate you. This is perhaps the most radical teaching we can receive about love, because it goes against everything we have been taught. Popular culture sells us the idea of the other half, that we are incomplete until we find our other half. But Jung taught us something revolutionary. Individuation is the process of becoming whole individuals, not halves looking to be completed. Embracing your completeness doesn't mean you don't want companionship or that you don't value intimacy. It means that when you choose to be with someone, you do it from a place of abundance, not of lack. You choose to share your complete life with another complete life, not to look for in another what you lack in yourself. When a woman truly embraces her completeness, her energy changes completely. She no longer emanates that subtle neediness that pushes emotionally mature men away. She no longer seeks constant validation or loses herself in relationships. She maintains her identity, her passions, her dreams while allowing herself to love and be loved. This completeness manifests in very concrete things. You have a rich and full life, even when you are single. You have purposes that go beyond finding a partner. You have friends who nurture your soul, hobbies that ignite your passion, goals that excite you. You are not waiting for someone to arrive to start living fully. Embracing your completeness also means making peace with solitude, not solitude as a punishment or as something to be avoided at all costs, but solitude as a sacred space of connection with yourself. It means enjoying your own company, creating beautiful moments for yourself alone, making decisions based on what you really want, not on what you think will make you more attractive to others. When you are complete, love becomes a conscious choice, not a desperate need. You can objectively evaluate if someone really adds value to your life or if they are just filling an emotional void. You can keep your standards high because you know that being alone is infinitely better than being in bad company. And here is the beautiful paradox. When you stop desperately needing love, you become infinitely more attractive to the kind of love that is truly worth having. Mature and emotionally available men are attracted to women who have done the inner work, who know themselves, who have an interesting and full life. Your completeness is not selfishness. It is self-love in its highest form. It is the greatest gift you can give to any future relationship, because you will be entering not from need, but from the conscious choice to share your abundance with someone who has also consciously chosen to share theirs with you. Now that you know the 5 keys, we come to the most crucial moment of this entire process: integration. Because understanding these truths intellectually is only the first step. The real transformation happens when you live them, when you incorporate them so deeply into your being that they become a natural part of who you are. Jung spoke of integration as the process of making the unconscious conscious, of unifying all the parts of ourselves into a coherent whole in your love life. This means that these 5 keys are not techniques that you apply from time to time, but a way of being that you embrace completely. Integration begins with radical honesty with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, in which of these keys am I strongest? Which one is most challenging for me? Where do I feel resistance? That resistance is not your enemy, it is your teacher. It is showing you exactly where you need to put your attention and your energy. Perhaps you discover that you recognize your value intellectually, but in practice you continue to accept behaviors that do not honor you. Or maybe you realize that you have set boundaries in some areas of your life, but in love, you are still permissive. These inconsistencies are not failures. They are opportunities for growth. Integration is a gradual and gentle process. It is not about transforming yourself overnight, but about making small conscious changes every day. Every time you honor your worth instead of minimizing it. Every time you choose to heal instead of avoid. Every time you maintain a boundary instead of yielding, you are integrating these teachings into your real life. And here I want to remind you of something important. Integration is not perfection. There will be days when you fall back into old patterns, moments when you forget your worth, situations where you compromise your boundaries. This is normal and human. What matters is not being perfect, but being conscious. Every time you realize you have regressed, you have the opportunity to choose differently. True integration manifests in an inner peace that others can feel. There is something in your presence that communicates, without words, that you are a woman who values herself, who has done the inner work, who knows who she is and what she deserves. This energy is naturally magnetic, without effort, without manipulation. When these 5 keys are truly integrated, love ceases to be this anxious and desperate search that consumes your energy. It becomes something more natural, more fluid, more organic. You move through life with a calm confidence, knowing that the right love will come at the right time, because you have created the internal conditions to receive it. Integration also means that you are no longer waiting for a man to arrive to start living fully. Your life is already full, rich, meaningful. A partner would be a beautiful addition to that fullness, not the solution to avoid. This energetic difference changes everything. When a woman has truly integrated these 5 keys into her life, something extraordinary happens. She becomes a natural magnet for conscious love. Not just any kind of love, but that mature, deep, and transformative love that we all secretly long for. The magnetism of conscious love is not based on seduction techniques or mind games. It is based on an authenticity so deep and a self-esteem so solid that it acts as a beacon in the darkness, attracting exactly the people who are on the same vibrational frequency. Jung taught us that what we do not accept in ourselves, we project onto others. But the reverse process is also true. When we heal, integrate, and fully accept who we are, we begin to attract people who have also done that inner work. It is the law of resonance in its purest form. This type of magnetism manifests in very concrete ways in your daily life. You notice that men treat you with more respect automatically. Superficial conversations transform into deeper, more meaningful exchanges. People feel they can be authentic with you because you radiate that authenticity. But perhaps most importantly, you no longer feel desperate to find love. This desperation, although understandable, emits an energy that repels exactly what we are looking for. Emotionally mature men can sense that neediness and unconsciously pull away, not out of cruelty, but because emotional need is not attractive to anyone. When you don't desperately need love but desire it from a place of abundance, you become irresistibly attractive. There is a huge energetic difference between "I need you to be happy" and "It would be beautiful to share my happiness with you." The first is a demand. The second is an invitation. The conscious love that you attract from this place is different from anything you have experienced before. It is a love that does not seek to change you, but to celebrate you. It does not seek to complete you, but to complement you. It does not seek to save you, but to accompany you in your continuous growth. This type of love is also more patient, more stable, more profound, because both of you have done the inner work. Both of you understand that true love is not just intense feelings, but also commitment, mutual respect, joint growth, and the will to face life's challenges as a team. And something beautiful happens when you attract conscious love. The relationship becomes a space of mutual healing, of joint growth, of unconditional support. It's not perfect because you are not perfect, but it is real, honest, and nurturing for both of you. The magnetism of conscious love also means that you are no longer afraid of being alone, because you know that your worth does not depend on having a partner. Paradoxically, this lack of fear makes you more attractive, because authentic confidence is magnetic. Remember, you are not looking for just any man who wants you. You are creating space for the right man who can honor, value, and love the extraordinary woman that you already are. And here we are at the end of this transformative journey we have traveled together. If you have made it this far, you are already different from the woman who started listening to this message a few minutes ago. Because the truth, when received by a heart willing to heal and grow, has the power to change everything instantly. These 5 keys we have explored together are not just psychological theory. They are real doorways to a version of yourself that you may have forgotten existed. That woman who knows her worth without questioning it, who has healed her wounds with compassion, who sets boundaries from love, not from fear, who embraces her femininity as the power it truly is, who loves herself so completely that her love naturally overflows to others. Carl Jung reminded us that the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. This privilege is not a destination you arrive at. It is a path you choose to walk every day. Every moment you have the opportunity to choose. Am I going to honor myself, or am I going to abandon myself? Am I going to grow, or am I going to stay small? Am I going to love, or am I going to fear? And if at this moment you feel that something has been stirred within you, that something has awakened, that it is time to finally prioritize your personal growth and your emotional well-being, I want you to know that you are not alone in this process. I have lovingly prepared material that can accompany you in this transformation. You can find it in the first pinned comment. Our ebook, Your Pain Was Not in Vain, an empowerment guide for women who decided to choose themselves. It is a 30-day guide based on the profound psychology of Carl Jung, designed especially for women who wish to reconnect with their inner strength, rebuild their self-esteem, and stop abandoning themselves. I leave it there in case you feel it can accompany you in this beautiful process of reconnecting with yourself. And so, the transformation is complete. But the most important thing is that you carry this universal truth forward in your soul. You already have everything you need within you. These keys did not give you power. They simply shattered the illusions that made you forget the immense power you have always had. They do not make you valuable. They command you to recognize the infinite value that has always been your birthright. The man of your dreams is not a prize to be won or a reward to be earned. He is simply the conscious man who is vibrationally aligned to recognize the radiant jewel you already are. Now that you have given yourself permission to shine, thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to accompany you on this profound journey. If this message has caused a seismic shift in your soul, I want you to anchor this new reality right now. Go down to the comments and declare your new identity to the universe by writing the powerful words, "I am the magnet." I want to read every single one and feel the energy of your transformation. And as you do that, press the like button to send this frequency of empowerment out to other women who need this awakening. An incredible number of you feel this connection, but haven't yet joined our community. If you are ready to continue mastering this spiritual science of attraction, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell, because what we've uncovered today is only the beginning. Your journey to true love no longer starts now. It has been activated. The love you have always deserved is no longer a distant hope. It is now your destiny.